Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The biggest win that never was. The lights in the Chase studio blazed as Bradley Walsh paced the floor, his usual playful grin replaced by an expression of pure excitement. The crowd buzzed with anticipation. Tonight, something special was about to happen. All right, Bradley clapped his hands together, turning to the final contestant, Joe Sugg. Mate, this is big. Joe, a YouTuber and former Strictly Come Dancing finalist, took a deep breath. He had already proven himself in the Cash Builder round, racking up £8,000. Now he stood before Paul Sinha, asterisk, the Sinerma asterisk, facing the biggest decision of his game. Paul tapped his fingers together and smirked. Well, Joe, I have to say you've played well so far. But this next decision, it's a game changer. The low offer, £1,000. The middle offer, £8,000. The high offer, Bradley whistled dramatically, £201,000. The audience gasped. Even Joe's fellow celebrities, Miles, David and Lucrezia, looked stunned. Joe let out a slow breath, rubbing his hands together. Now if I go for this, it could go viral, right? The crowd cheered. Bradley grinned. Oh, definitely viral. Joe glanced back at his teammates, who nodded encouragingly. Then, with a confident shrug, he said, All right, let's do it. £201,000. The studio exploded. Cheers echoed off the walls, and Bradley practically jumped in the air. You absolute legend. Paul Sinha, ever the professional, simply adjusted his tie. Bold move, Joe, but let's see if you can back it up. The most intense game ever. Joe took his seat opposite Paul, his fingers gripping the edge of the table. The first few questions came fast. Question 1. Which planet has the most moons? Joe hesitated. Jupiter. Correct. Question 2. What is the term for a baby rabbit? Kit. Correct. Question 3. Who wrote 1984? George Orwell. Correct again. Bradley was practically bouncing. This is incredible. Joe continued his streak, rattling off answers with stunning accuracy. Even Paul Sinha raised an eyebrow in appreciation. And then one final question stood between Joe and history. Bradley leaned in, eyes wide. Which of a hedgehog's senses is very poor? Joe stared at the options: sight, hearing, smell. The audience held their breath. Joe exhaled. I think sight. A pause. Bradley put his hands on his head. Oh my days, this is it. The screen flashed green. Correct. The studio erupted. Joe leaped from his seat, fist pumping the air. Bradley, unable to contain himself, grabbed him in a bear hug. Absolutely brilliant. The cameras zoomed in as Joe's total was added to the team's jackpot, £213,000. Bradley turned to the camera. Folks, we have just witnessed history. Biggest win ever. The moment would be played on highlight reels for years to come. The final chase. The remaining 3 contestants, Joe, Miles and David, stood behind their podiums, ready to face the Sinnerman one last time. Paul folded his arms. Gentlemen, that was impressive. But let's see if you can finish the job. The clock started, and the team answered 18 questions correctly, an above-average score. Bradley nodded approvingly. Solid, very solid. But Paul was a machine. With 28 seconds left on the clock, he caught them. Silence. £213,000 gone. The audience groaned. Joe put his hands on his head. Miles let out a deep sigh. Bradley, ever the optimist, stepped forward. "Look, lads, you may not have taken the money, but you've made history. No one has ever brought that much cash to the final. And," he turned to the camera, grinning, "we did go viral, didn't we?" Laughter rippled through the studio, breaking the tension. Paul Sinha gave them an approving nod. "You played brilliantly. Hold your heads high." Despite the loss, each contestant walked away with £1,000 for their charities. And Joe, he walked away knowing he had given The Chase one of its most unforgettable moments. And yes, he definitely went viral.